Welcome back to the Friendly Fox. Today we're going to do a matching table runner to the placemats and the napkins that we've already made, matching the Christmas trees that we've already made. So this is kind of a personal project. It depends on the size of your table. So the placemats finished, for me, if I lay that right on the edge of my table, on both sides of the table, I end up with a space in the middle that I want the table runner to be in. Now, fabric, when you buy it, usually Christmas fabric comes in 45 inches wide, and that's too wide for fitting between these two placemats. I need something that's 15 and a half inches wide. So I've laid out my fabric. Look at this now. I've laid out my fabric, and I'm going to cut it now to be 15 and a half inches wide so that after I finish stitching, it will fit between the two placemats. Now I could just make a snip here and rip it all the way down. I have nice lines on here, so I'm just going to go with the lines of my fabric. And it doesn't matter if you cut off the fold or you cut off the selvage. And as I mentioned, I think before, these two fabrics are different. You know, it's supposed to be 45 inches wide, but it's not always identical. So I'm cutting off the side that doesn't match. That way the part that's left is exactly the 15 and a half inches that I need. Table has its extensions in. It seats, I think, 14 people. And so I have to manage my fabric to that when the leaves are out as opposed to when the leaves are tucked in. Okay, now to make sure that I get the points on the ends of the table exactly the same, I'm going to lay all 4 pieces of, I should mention that I'm making one for the center of my table, but I have a sideboard and I'm going to make one to put on my sideboard. So I have 8 layers of fabric here, and in order to get it all matched, that the points are the same, I'm doubling up all 8 layers on this end. And now I'm going to double it again so that when I cut through here, the angle of the pointed end is going to be the same through all of the pieces. And now that will give me my point on each end of the table. And now, go back to where we were at the beginning, and I'm going to take these 2 center pieces, because they're already done with right sides together, and I'm going to go all the way around, and I'll show you how I put the tassel in. I'm going to go around all the outer edges with a 1/2 inch seam. So let's go sew. So here's the tassel, here's the point, right sides together. I'm going to put the tassel right there on the point, and I'm going to make a little sandwich right there. I'm going to hold it in place right there so you can see it held right there. And now, as I mentioned, we're going to do a 1/2 inch seam all the way around. We're going to leave a little opening here on the side so that we can turn it all inside out. And we're off to the races. I'm holding that with my fingers so that it's right where I need it to be. So now it's stitched in place. And we're going to continue on with the 1/2 inch seam all the way around. Okay, now we're coming up on the next tassel. I'm going to just tuck it in there. I'm holding it in place with my left hand. Okay, now I'm coming up on where I started right here. So I'm just going to do 1 inch or 2 back stitch, and then I'm going to leave this part open to turn it inside out. Now remember, we've got to go around and trim off all the corners where there's too much bulk material so that when it turns inside out, it's got a nice sharp corner to it. I'm cutting off all the corners so that when I turn it inside out or right side out, it won't have all that excess fabric. Because if I turn that inside out, all that fabric's going to bunch up inside and make it not a nice crisp corner. So you want to take that off so that when it turns inside out, there's not a lot of bulk in there. Same with the ends. If I turned that inside out and all that bulk was left there, it would be all gumshy and nasty. So just take it all off, and then it'll turn and be nice and clean. The opening. I like to go all the way down to the end to start. If you're a sewer that's a beginner, this is a really nice, easy project to start with. But if you're a sewer that likes to do Christmas markets, these are projects that will sell well at a Christmas market. Magic, it's like a magic trick from Vegas. And now I'm going to press this so that it's all nice and flat. And then just like about everything I do, I'm going to top stitch it all the way around here with a 1/4 inch seam. See how nice that corner lays when it doesn't have a bunch of bulk in there? And then when you top stitch it, it just looks so crisp. Okay, now that's all pressed nicey nice. I'm going to go around and stitch a 1/4 inch top stitching all the way around. I'm just going to tie these threads and we're good to go. Always tie a reef knot. That's left over right and under, right over left and under, because a reef knot won't let go. So that's it done. There's the gold with the tassel on it. And if I wanted to reverse it the other way, again, if you're a beginner sewer, this one is really easy and it'll build your confidence to make something like this. And there's the other Christmas tree. And once all the placemats go on and your dishes are on, it'll look very festive and Christmassy. And that's the project for the Christmas table complete. We started with the trees, then we went to the placemats, then we went to the runner. Knowing that you can mix and match, that you can flip the placemats over to this side and the table runner can go to the green side. I like the red side because then the Christmas trees show up better. But if you wanted a more monochromatic table setting, you could turn that table runner upside down and have green placemats, green runner, and the green Christmas trees. And the same thing will be on the sideboard too. So that's what it looks like when it's complete. Thank you for joining me.